Hey guys, before you get too invested into the video, go ahead, hit that subscribe button for us. We appreciate all the support that you guys give us. So go ahead, please like, share, and subscribe our content. So that way you won't miss another episode of Unfiltered Arguments and your friends won't miss another episode. Thank you and y'all be blessed. Peace. Welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Arguments. Here you got your boy Derek. There you got your boy Ford.
Yo.
And today we got our special guest that I'm going to let Ford introduce one more time. Go ahead, Ford.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my fiance, Tanisha Hampton.
Make sure we have a little clapping.
Oh, you thinking, boy. You're thinking.
So,
find that for real.
How y'all feeling today?
I'm good.
I don't really give a fuck. So anyway, back to Unfiltered Arguments. We're going to run this bitch.
Why jab your ass, boy?
You know how we go. We have a debate topic that goes on.
Derek gonna shank your ass over there.
For 20-25 minutes. First debate topic is, do you think Derek can beat me? What was that? No?
Hell
yeah.
I'm going to pick the poll up, motherfucker.
I swear to God, if I lose in that poll, I got to fight everybody on your social. Yo.
Oh, God, we got to put that
when
on.
Derek put a poll up versus me and him, every time, bro, whether it's Unfiltered Brothers or his personal, I lose that bitch faithfully. If I was to lose that one, I got to fight everybody.
Just like they said I was going to beat him in the verses.
He did.
And they'd agree with me about
Derek
the baby.
Beat me so bad in the verses
It wasn't that bad.
that when I asked my mama who won,
she did the mom answer.
she gave me the most mom ass answer I could ever. What she say, Derek?
So you was like, Derek played some good songs, and it was like, yeah, Derek was playing some stuff I ain't heard in a while. How about you? You're like, you play some good stuff too. Well, who won? She took a while. It was a tie.
I was assaulted, boy. I was like, I can't believe this.
Definitely a mom answer.
I come with
I was like, you can just say I lost, mom.
I come with the hits, man. I come with the classics,
bro.
man.
Derek's playing. I ain't gonna hold you. That playlist, I downloaded all that shit because that was a fire ass playlist. Heard you did a good job at the little Halloween thing too.
We need to hire him to do our wedding playlist.
Hey,
no, this nigga can DJ for real.
Listen, I can put a playlist together. If I learn how to scratch, oh yeah, DJ's over. It's a wrap. It's over.
Unfiltered DJ.
Yeah, fuck it. It's a wrap. I can put.
We can host parties, nigga. That might be an actual investment.
Hey, let me know.
It's a franchise.
You give me a couple songs that y'all want to listen to. I'll go from that, and I'll be like, oh y'all, you want that type of vibe? Bet I got that.
Yeah, you know what? That could be an actual investment.
Let me know.
All right, y'all ready?
Oh, I've been started, motherfucker.
Oh, you did? Nah, I usually try to start. Oh, there's a minute in. All right. I try to start after we get done.
It's all
a little
Gucci.
banter. This be a little personal one.
Oh shit.
Nah. I ain't know what would you do.
You said personal. That's enough.
It's gonna be a little personal. Has religion crippled humanity or helped humanity?
Oh shit.
We
gotta come up on the spot and
Go ahead,
talk about
Sean.
this shit.
Yes, sir.
Four,
On the
you
spot
got-
answers.
You
Go ahead, Sean.
that
You got to
shit.
start.
Crippled or you said crippled or help?
Yep.
Damn.
Crippled or helped, which means like
No in between.
no in between. It's either has it helped humanity or has it made humanity worse. And I got arguments for
You talking about religion? Like when you say religion, you talking about all religion or what we
well,
talking about?
we can focus more on Christianity, but I'm talking about religion as a whole. But we could talk mainly about Christianity because it's the one we all pretty sure specialize
Yeah.
in.
I would say I think it's helped, especially relating to the past few years of just everything going on. I think it's given people something to focus on, something to believe.
You want to turn your mic up?
Oh, no, it's Gucci.
Okay. Oh, turn her mic up.
Yep. All right, Gucci. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, I think that it's definitely helped. Just because, I don't know, I know when sometimes, especially these past 2 years, like if something gets me down, I'm kind of like, okay, I got this to go back to. I know God is going to push this through. I know he's going to get me through this. And I think that everybody has kind of especially needed that. I know a lot of people that didn't believe in God before all the pandemic stuff. And now because of all the pandemic stuff, starting to realize like, okay, I do believe. Because we do have somebody has to get us through this. We have to get through whatever we're going through. So I think it's helped.
Overall.
Overall,
over the existence of the world, you think it's helped?
Oh, you talking about over
yeah,
of the world?
He not just talking
no,
about
I'm not talking about
I can only talk. I feel like I don't know.
Okay, so if we're talking like just okay,
I'm talking about the world ever since whenever this shit was created.
Yeah, I'm talking about from the existence of religion from the early times. Has it helped or has it crippled?
Has it helped the U.S.? Has it helped Asia? Has it helped Europe?
Has it helped anybody
As a whole?
I'm still gonna go with help.
So you know what? Let me rephrase a little bit. Is it good or is it overall bad? Is it positive or is it negative? And don't just take the message. I want you to take everything that is with religion. Every single thing. Has it benefited humanity? Has it crippled humanity? Is it a positive impact on humanity or is it negative on humanity?
Damn, man. I don't think I get one answer.
I'm still going. I got a whole bunch of reasons in my head why I think it is negative, but I'm still gonna go with overall. I think if we're talking worldwide, I think it's been mostly positive.
Okay.
And when I'm not talking about just like Christianity, I'm talking like all religions. Period. I think it's done more good for people than it does bad. Does it have bads? I think the bads are very dramatic. Is why I think a lot of people would go to say that it's more negative because. As humans, we tend to focus on a lot of the negative. As soon as you said that, all the stuff that negative came with it kind of just shot to the front of my head because that's what we do as humans. But I would say overall, I think it's been positive. Enough attention just isn't brought to the positive.
I don't know how to answer for it. What you got for us? I don't know how to answer.
I love this because
I'm still thinking.
God, not the preacher. What?
What?
All right.
I'm trying to figure out how to word it without me stuttering.
Nah, he think about what his mama gonna say or his grandma gonna say.
No.
You want a minute? You want?
Go ahead, just say it. Just say it.
Just say it. Overall, for the existence of humanity.
Overall, I think it's...
Damn, I gotta get one answer.
You know what? I think this might be one of my better ones. This is really.
It was
It's been a while since I had y'all stumped like this.
I'm gonna say, go ahead, Floyd. Hurry up. Shit. I'm trying to get feedback from them.
Trying to have him go first. Nigga, I should have picked you first, nigga.
All right. Overall, especially from what I've been seeing on the news, I think it has a negative effect.
What?
Oh shit!
Because of the
what?
Watch your hand, boy. Watch your hand.
Yeah.
Because of like people that's in high authority in the church.
Okay.
Because of how they carry themselves, and like they're not carrying themselves in the way of the Lord or in the way of they're carrying themselves and that's contradicting what their religion stands for. Like,
are you speaking more towards super churches, more mega churches, or are you?
You're just talking about church in general.
Church in general.
When you said how, I was thinking of like
churches in general, because there's some local pastors out here too that ain't left and right.
Oh, I know, sir.
So I mean, one little prospect. But anyway,
oh my god.
I was about to put him out too.
Yeah, right down the road from your house.
I already called the name. I don't know if y'all peeped that or not. But,
I ain't.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say name of the church, but anyway, we don't put them out there like that.
Talk your shit.
Because that's my family church.
But is it their responsibility though to uphold an entire religion?
As a leader, I believe so. As a face of the church, I believe so.
It's their responsibility to practice what they preach.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if you're gonna be a shepherd and lead the sheep, I mean, how you gonna lead the sheep and tell them the right things to do when you out here living foul? When
how you sit there and lead the sheep and you the wolf?
When you out here messing with little kids. But anyway.
Ooh. But my thing too
this shit got dark.
When is it up to them as
the conversation will get dark,
the children of God, listening to him, what is it up to them to say, okay, he ain't living right, so I'm gonna have to go dip and find me somebody who's doing the right thing.
Yeah, but then you got these faithful church members who was raised in the church.
I might have to go
in this church.
Fuck,
And that ain't
but who are they being faithful to?
Damn.
Are they being faithful to their? Who are they?
I
Who are
don't
they being
know.
faithful
I
to?
don't know
Though?
which
Are they
way
being
I'm
faithful
side.
to their religion, or are they being faithful to the person that is preaching the religion? Those to me are two separate things. Because you're not supposed to be faithful to the person who's preaching your religion or talking about what you believe in. You're supposed to be faithful to the religion, to what you believe. So that's if I got this pastor over here who's living wrong, but he still believe what I believe, but then this other pastor over here is believing what I believe, isn't it my duty to say, okay, you're not preaching or doing what I believe, so I'm gonna go over here to this one that is doing right.
Yeah, or
that's the problem. People are faithful.
Or they can do smart thing to vote them out of church.
People are faithful to the people and not to what they supposed to be believing.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
But I think that's your reason right there. I think I might have to slide with him for it.
Because you got do y'all see the pastor on the news that is getting charged for buying prostitutes?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
We talking. Oh yeah.
What's wrong with him buying a prostitute?
Yeah, man too. Catholic Church and all of that.
Yeah,
all the shit they be doing.
Messing with little kids,
That's a normal stereotype with that shit.
There.
I can see where y'all coming from. He said he was gonna slide with.
I'm gonna
go elaborate.
Mainly on that, like
the abuse of the
what
power.
she was saying, like the abuse of power. But like,
I got more.
When you gotta learn religion from somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn religion from somebody. So you have to put your faith and belief in the person that's teaching it. You have to believe that they're teaching it
right.
the correct way. They're living living their life, practicing what they preach. And then if they're not, then it's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like that just fucks you up. And it's like,
I am a genius.
Like,
God darn, boy, I'm a genius.
That's why, I would say negative just because I don't never call myself a religious person. I always say I'm a spiritual
right?
Person, because when you talk about religion, it is man made and shit like that. So I don't want to put my faith. Like you're saying, I don't want to put my faith in no man to teach me anything, because I know the relationship I have, with the man upstairs, and the shit that I go through, I can't have that. I know that no man can help me with that shit.
Yeah, could have helped
me
through
saying?
They're gonna see this episode, but they're gonna get mad when
you know what I'm saying.
You said what?
I said it's on pastor. They're gonna see this episode.
Man, that's
fine.
Go ahead, say it.
He can join the.
Because there's a lot of people that gonna be glad that you spoke out about it.
I am shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I just knew you was gonna say positive.
I did.
That was the biggest plot twist I done had in the Unfiltered arguments ever. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
Because I'm sorry, I didn't want to cover your point.
Oh no, you go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I don't really, going back to what you said, I don't think I'm a religious person. I think I'm more of a spiritual person.
Right.
And I've been taught the word of God and what God expects of us and everything like that. But of course, as a human, I question a lot, and I just come to kind of my own realizations with a lot of things. So when you were but then when I hear you and Rand talk about religion, it gives me hope, because you recognize the problems that you see and the issues that come up, and you address them. You know that it's wrong. You're not blindly following.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that's where the problem with religion comes into play.
Uh-huh.
It's like God has given us free will, but you blindly follow this human that says he's supposed to be
right. Because how are you supposed to know that they're
what I'm
really
saying?
called? Yeah.
Because if you want to be honest with you, the reason I came up with this question was because you know me, I'm a nerd, so I was playing something, some game or something, and the game itself, the video game itself has, it's like a battle between demons and angels. like basically it's like an anime game or whatever, but the conversation that they're having is basically what's going on is Armageddon has already happened. So it's like it's weird. It's like a time travel thing. So like you go back and forth between the past and the present, before Armageddon and after Armageddon. And when you're talking to the demons, because you can like talk to them and stuff like that. You get your point?
Yeah, I got one point.
Go ahead.
No, I would say it's a negative too. When you talk about religion, I feel like that's forcing somebody to think one specific way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like whatever type of religion it is, you want them to think this and that. And I believe is one God.
Right.
It might got different names. It might got different names.
Yeah.
But I truly believe it's one God. But and this is just a personal. I am bad with authority.
Yeah, right.
I'm bad with authority.
Like being told with
I'm bad with authority, and like I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't take advice from people, I don't learn from people or anything like that. But I feel like that's up to me to take that information and apply it to whatever, like reading books and everything like that. That's reading books. That's somebody telling me stuff. But I choose what I take from to take that information and how to apply it and everything like that. But when you talk about religion, they said, "Oh, Christians supposed to live this way. Christians supposed to do this and that." But I'm like,
but then
you're not doing that, bro.
Right? But then too, they also forget, right? The Bible was all the stuff was done before all the sin, before God, all these things he did. And so it's like, regardless, we're all going to sin. And I think that's a lot of problem that I have with like a lot of pastors today. Is like, they want to say, oh, you're supposed to live this way. You're supposed to when you can't preach that God died for our sins so that we could ask for forgiveness, but then try to crucify us when we make mistakes as humans.
Exactly.
Like he knew that the moment that Eve did what she did, he knew he gave us free will. He gave us all this knowledge that we were never really intended to have. So you can't sit here and say, oh, well, you're living wrong because you did A, B, C, D, but then preach in the pulpit that God died for our sins and that he's always open to us for forgiveness.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think that's where religion goes wrong. And to Derek's point, it's up to us as people to dictate what we take away when we're listening to leaders. Like, what do you take away from that, and how do you use it? How do you apply it to your life?
Yep. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna go back to what I was saying.
No, I was saying something she mentioned, like how a lot of people be like, only God can judge you. Only God can judge us. But that's all people do.
Right.
That's all people do is judge.
Before you even make
literally
that choice.
everybody. That's what everybody does. Religion or not, like that's what everybody do. Like, how can you tell somebody how to live their life? I don't care what sexual preference that they have, what they believe in, or anything like that. How can you tell that person how the fuck to live their life? Like, they not committing no crimes out here or anything like that. Like, my God accepts everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how can you tell them that they not gonna go to heaven because of what who they like and shit like that? Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They have
you doing that. You doing that is a fucking sin.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
That don't make no sense to
because it's also written in the Bible that it's not our place to judge. What? Judging other people is a sin, and so that's where you run into that issue of people just need to learn how to be people. And to your point about all the religions, I did some theology. Mine was pre-theology when I went to JMU, and I did a study of all religions. They're all connected. I mean, they all
practice
from Christianity. I mean, so it's like everybody went off kind of and had their own beliefs, their own versions of the beliefs, but it's all the same thing. At the end of the day, we're supposed to respect each other, love each other, and that's it. But it's too much emphasis on religion as a whole. So you got to be this way, this way, this way, this way, this way.
And that's what I was getting at, like the game I was playing and stuff like that. Like, it's a fighting game. And it was like, that's what it was talking about. Like, you blindly following. You blindly, like, noticing that this is a religion. But just like anything else in this world, it has flaws, it has mistakes, it has things about it that not everybody will agree with, especially because everybody is individuals. And so when I came up with this question, I did like a list of pros for religion and cons for religion. And like that con list was wild.
Right.
Like You're talking about.
You talking about like you was researching this, or
Yeah,
you just kind of
that con list was crazy because you think about if you want to date back to the Middle Ages, you got the Crusades where they literally just murdered people because of like the fact of in the name of Christianity. Then you got the witch trials, which they were literally burning people at the stake because they believed that these women were witches and they were going to hell, etc. Like that.
Right.
You want to fast forward a little bit, you got slavery, use slavery and everything like that. Like a lot of stuff that was if you want to go to the Catholic Church, with the abuse, sexual abuse, and was, power abuse, and then you have acts of terrorism against them because they have funded, the Vatican has funded terrorist groups in Europe to incite terrorism, to bring people to the church.
Yeah.
But to give y'all my answer, I think it's actually more positive. And the reason I say that is because despite all those cons, despite all those negatives, the reason I said religion as a whole is because when you talk about Hinduism, talk about, the Islamic Muslim faith, you talk about Buddhism, you talk about Christianity, everything aspires for you to be a better person.
Right.
Every single thing, every teaching, unless you out here practicing devil worship, usually almost everything teaches you to be like a legit better person. And the bad part about it that sucks is that humans have made it bad.
Right.
Humans went out and killed people in the name of God. Humans used the Bible to continue slavery and to keep the hold on everybody. And when you talk about these actions, you have to separate. I asked it because, like is it a negative or positive? You got to separate the humanity from the religion. And what I mean by that is that if I tell you right now that save $100 in your savings account every paycheck, you'll have enough to buy a car. Now, $100 in your savings account will buy you a new car. But if you decide to go out here and rob 100 people for $100 in your savings account because of the information that I've given you, that's your interpretation of it. That's what you've done. Those were your actions. The hardest part about religion is separating the humans from the religion, because we go to the pastors, we go to the deacons, we go to the reverends, we go to these people in power. And
how can you separate the two?
Well, but I think what I hear is the difference between, like we talked about, religion and spirituality, right? Because when you're in the spirit, that's what you're talking about when you're following whatever religion, whatever you believe in, whatever your faith is. When you are solely focused on that, that is when you're in that spirit. But religion is what man made, right? What he's saying, when men say, oh, I'm going to do this for my religion, that is not really what I think God intended ever to become of that. That is what humans decided that they wanted to be, rather than spirituality.
But isn't that the reason why as an overall it got to be negative? But because religion is man-made, it's hard to separate the two.
Well, is it you? And that's the other conversation we got to have too. Is because I'll make sure I check the time too. Because it's probably gonna be the last points for all of us. The other part of that conversation is this: when you're talking about those negatives, think about. It's gonna sound really weird, but. Bless you. Oh.
It's okay.
I thought it was about to come.
It was about to be a sneeze that turned into a yawn. I don't know what that was about.
That should be happening.
Because I said bless you before you did it.
Yeah.
But the negative connotation that you said, I was like, damn, like she hit it right on the nail. That was like literally my biggest point about it. Because you say it, you think of all that negative shit. But you want to know why is because when you argue against gun violence, the first thing people bring up is mass shootings. Right. The first thing you think about is, if you talk about something, you think of like an incident that was terrible and everything like that.
Traumatic, yeah.
But we don't talk about how, when you talk about religion, you don't think about the single parent that's at home crying all alone on the bathroom floor because he's hungry. But no, for real. Out of here, bro. But you don't think about that single parent that literally all they have to turn to is religion, is God, and the prayers was keeping them going. Those small victories overall, I think, outweigh those negative aspects. And don't get me wrong.
The negative is bad. It's bad.
I mean, we just sat here and was like, I ain't gonna hold you. I really hope my God is a very forgiving and loving person, because we just shitted on religion for 21 minutes.
But remember, that's not what he intended for it to be. So
I got some more.
Look at
go ahead,
you on a different topic. You talking about church folk. We all
but
know
that's a conversation. That's a part of it.
That's a part of it.
It's a negative thing, and I think as a good leader, if you went to your pastor and said something like, you know, I'm struggling with this, that right answer would be take it to God. But yet and still, we're always looking for that person to tell us exactly how to handle it. And that goes back to Derek's point. You take away what you need from that. But I always felt like a good pastor would be that one to lead you to that scripture of what God says and then tell you, take it to God.
You know, that's crazy because, you know, when I thought about it, all my problems in life, you know, when I prayed about, you know, I had to realize that a lot of my shit, whether I prayed about it or not, it was me. Mm-hmm. Like, you sit there, you pray, God, I pray, oh, let me get a new car, let me get a new car, let me get a new car. But I never went and got the second job to afford the car.
Faith without works is dead.
And that's the conversation that we have, that we need to start having more, is like, you can go to the Bible, you can get the passage to tell you what to do. And I understand people be going through it. Yeah. Hey, I work in social services. People be going through it.
Right. But what work are you going to put in to show God that you're dedicated to him?
And I think that's the conversation that we got to start having sometimes too, is that, like, you know, when you're talking about religion and you talk about you talk about these pastors, and you can sit there and you can preach to me about X, Y, and Z, and, you know, you doing X, Y, and Z. I think we got to start acknowledging the fact that they're human, bro.
Yeah.
Like no matter how high up, and I think that's the thing we talk about a lot with celebrities. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
We talk about a lot with celebrities and putting them on those pedestals, but I gotta start acknowledging that the people that's on these pedestals are still human too. Right. And I think that, like, at the end of the day, I cannot fault. You got to look at someone whether they're just a good person or not, and you just keep it rolling like that. Go ahead, bro.
No, I don't even know how this is gonna come out, but like, you know, I feel like when you talk about religion, you go to a church or whoever you go to that's the teacher or whatever, right, like that. You know, you go to them, tell them your problems, what you're going through. They give you advice, but, you know, most of the times, if not all the time, you know, they're gonna tell you, leave it up to God, put your faith in God, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, why not put it up to me though? Like, I feel like I'm like, some decisions I've made is like, of course God has something to do with it, but I gotta give credit to myself too.
I think that's the other part of the conversation. You know, me and Aaron had this conversation one time, because Aaron tells this story about how someone helped this lady, and the lady was like, "Oh, thank God you were here," and the dude was like, "Well, I'm the one that helped you." I think that when you acknowledge it, it's gonna sound really weird, and I can't believe I'm about to say this. When you acknowledge that God exists, you notice that everything is through his will, right, along with our free will.
Right.
So it's like, I know it's an oxymoron. It's kind of like ironic to think about both of them coexisting at the same time. But you got to notice that certain aspects of your life was designed and orchestrated for you to be at the point that you are now.
It was. But you had to make that decision.
Right.
That's what,
right.
And that's where the free will comes into play.
I think every Christian should pat their self on the back every once in a while for choosing to be follow.
I believe God gives,
but also give him that
acknowledgement. I believe God give you all the thoughts that you have.
Right.
But it's up to you to make
to act
the decision.
Out.
Exactly. And going back to that, I think that we as Christians have to acknowledge that. And I think I notice that a lot with true Christians. I'm gonna let Forrest speak his piece after this.
Yeah, go ahead. No,
I'm gonna let you speak after this. We acknowledge that the reason we don't have to give ourselves pats on the back is because our blessings are our pats on the back.
Correct.
So, like, you know, case in point for myself, I always was hard on myself. I was like, man, I moved back home, I'm still with my mom, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm living with my parents. But I got 2 cars. I got a full-time job. I'm working towards the things that I want.
Yeah.
So it's we
The hardest part about being us is we're too hard on ourselves. But a lot of times we're more blessed than what we can think of. And the number one thing that I learned is someone out there right now is asking God for a blessing that you already have. Yep. So focus on your blessings, not the negative. Go ahead, Ford. I know you got something to say, boy. I was
say it.
Not Ford saying negative. Not me being the voice of God today.
I mean, one of the reasons why I also say, it's kind of negative impact because we got churches out here they worry about the money, but they're not worried about the soul.
Right.
You got pastors out here that's driving Bentleys and Mercedes and
got
whatever.
book deals.
Yeah, and ain't put a damn doorknob on church yet.
Yeah.
And you go to their house, big mansion. But the members, they live in trailer parks struggling. But they paying tithes faithfully.
Right.
Hey, man.
And then after you preach, they still walking home with nothing. Still walking home broken down and no
giving
hope.
Their last pennies to the church. And it's
no hope, no money. But yet you go home with a full pocket. Something wrong with that picture.
I think that I'm gonna ask y'all a question. And I actually
might got an answer for you.
Because after this we gotta wrap it up. How do y'all feel about preachers like T.D. Jakes and what's his name? What's his name? Olsen?
Yeah, right. Joel
Olsen. Like, how do you guys feel about these people that preach the word of God, but then you see them profit so much off the word of God? I'm gonna be honest, it don't really sit right with me sometimes.
That's my thing, yo. I don't want to contradict myself.
Yeah,
but I feel like because in that position, I just feel like you using.
You know what I mean?
The word against people, like.
Not and I'm not saying T.D. Jakes out here. I love T.D. Jakes. Like he is my go-to.
Words, yeah.
But it's like, I'm like, bro, like you making
money,
bread.
But at the same time, it's like
you making bread.
Because if you think about it, Jesus walked around he's
so humble.
Yeah, right, and never asked for anything. Gave all these blessings, and then you have somebody who. I don't care how much they seem like they're doing it for the right reason. It still doesn't, like Derek said, for some reason doesn't sit quite right. That you became almost like this celebrity
icon
preacher. Yeah. Like this a millionaire in the preacher world. And it's kind of one of those things where you look at it and you're like, well, what did they have to do? What did they sacrifice spiritually to get there?
I just feel like every appearance is a profit for them. I feel like they don't go nowhere without them signing a contract. Oh, we gotta get paid here. Yeah. That's why I just feel like. That's why it's like I want you to make your money. Like if you was making money outside of the church doing something else that's not involving the word, cool. But
when did they become that? I need to figure out when did it become that preachers got paid to do God's work.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Look,
like,
you was about to say I was gonna say it
because in the Bible it talks about giving you 10% sacrificing, but it doesn't say in the Bible specifically money.
Talk your shit.
But not 10% to the pastor though. 10% to the church.
10% to the church.
10% to the church, but we know where that money.
Where that 10% going to though.
Some churches. Some
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
It's interesting.
I am so proud of y'all. No, for real, because it's good to be open-minded about these concepts that we're taught, and it's like almost drilled into
embedded,
us. You know what I mean? And to question them is good. That's like human response, and it's just like, damn. Ford hit me with the negative. I'm still shocked. But I won't go let you go now, fam. I got you.
He get with the. I get where he's coming from. I said, when you said it, all those negative things that are associated with the church, not with spirituality, but with the church, and I think that's a separate conversation. And I feel like people smash them all together, but they're all three separate things. This being in the spirit, religion, and the church are all three separate things, and they just all get slammed together.
Damn.
You know.
Today's church cannot operate without money.
That is very true. That is very true. But you know, I don't think that.
But the church is supposed to be everywhere, though. Remember?
But the entities. I'm about to say the church can be anywhere.
You're supposed to be able to practice anyway. We could practice right here if you wanted to.
But I think like that's just like any entity out here. Go, man. Go ahead. I give us 35. I give us 35. Go ahead. You got 3 minutes.
Speaking of, practicing, like,
I mean,
you can't even do that in school.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's more.
Remember
but that's
when
more
I used to do that in
because.
school and I almost got in trouble?
But that's because you have to be respectful of.
because.
That's more for they can be respectful of other religions and stuff.
Because if you can't discriminate because of religion, I should be able to practice whatever the fuck I want.
I tell you one religion,
but I think
who
that's
ain't
more because of like
nobody.
you gotta respect.
They always knock on your door early in the morning.
Respect too. This is for me.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
But they could also do something where like
This is for
it's
me.
a thing where like say everybody take a moment to humbly and quietly practice your own.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. I said we gotta start doing it.
It's not for you. It's for me. I'm practicing for me.
Because you know what was wild to me is that like Muslims, they pray how many times?
All the time.
Yeah, they pray
I don't know.
multiple times throughout the day.
Yeah.
And they have to face a certain way, and
then the women have to be separate. And
it's crazy to me because like I was seeing a post about like how this workplace or something gave this guy his own like room to practice and everything like that, and I was like, that's what we need.
The respect.
Like, there's nothing wrong with you with praying and everything like that, but you gotta be respectful and acknowledge that of other people's religions and beliefs, and you gotta be respectful of people that don't believe in God. Yeah. I mean, I personally believe in Him and I trust in Him and have faith in Him, but I can understand, and I know this is gonna make me sound like a hypocrite, but I could truly understand why people give up. Life sucks, and it's hard to keep your faith.
That's a whole nother conversation.
But that's a whole other conversation.
And I was just about to say that I respect it.
This
like you just said, I respect it. But then when I'm going through something, I think about like, gosh, like what would I have if I did not have my faith? Where do they get that source of like
everybody
encouragement
would crash by now?
Yeah, where do they get that source?
Every day I be like, yo, this shit. Like, this ain't life. Like,
the
dream, the American dream, they portraying shit, bro. That shit ain't real. That shit ain't real. That's a dream. It's a fucking dream. I don't care what nobody say. Even if you my business partner, I don't give a fuck what you say, bro. All the American dream, that shit is a fucking dream.
On the next episode, we'll have is the American dream real or not?
You right. Let's go, man.
You have all these. That is a good topic to talk about, though, because you have all these refugees and all these people coming here thinking that they're getting this concept of the American dream.
And then you turn.
But no, but then you sit there.
Can't even get
but
that
then they come over here, and some of them are more wealthy than us.
That's right.
So it's the conversation.
Let them be. That's on you. That's on you.
And this has been another episode of Unfiltered Arguments. We do not promote racism, discrimination of any kind.
No.
With that being said, this has been another episode of Unfiltered Arguments. Thank you for watching.
I didn't mean it like that, y'all. I'm sorry.
Like, share, subscribe to our pages. Watch anywhere that you can watch podcasts. This comes out Thursday. Thursdays.
The following,
it comes out Thursday. So check us out on our YouTube page. Then, I know this nigga don't know. I do all the editing and posting. And with that being said, y'all be easy. Y'all be blessed. Peace.
Peace.